Hey guys, so welcome back to another video. So last week I got a comment on one of my posts asking me if I could describe a little bit more about one of the drills I used in my speed workouts, so the dribbles. So Tim, thank you for that comment. And if anyone's got any comments about things that they would like to see, please feel free to drop them in the comments section below. I will get a video made to kind of cover everything. So today's video is going to be all about the speed drills, giving you a little bit of context, depth, nuance as to why I use the ones I use, because I've used loads over the years. Again, I've sort of studied speed work from people like Jonas Adudu from Speedworks London. I've read all of sort of Charlie Francis's work, people like Derek Hansen, Tony Holler, Brian Kula, you know, all these people that I've kind of looked to as sort of mentors and studied the sort of art of speed. And then from there, I've kind of just applied it and figured out kind of what works for me at this given moment. And I think when it comes to speed drills, there's two main uses for them. The first one is from a general global standpoint of just getting our body prepared for what we're about to do. But also the second one is using them as tools to enhance and build technique, because essentially that's what a drill is, right? A drill is a movement that accentuates or exaggerates a specific part of the technical model. So drills for deadlifts and squats will target areas of the movement and the technique that you aren't very good at, that allows you to reinforce them so that you can then carry them over to your main sets. The same goes here, okay? So when we're utilizing speed drills, the goal is to reinforce the perfect technical model and then let that carry over into your speed work. So if you video yourself sprinting and you highlight that you don't bring your toe up into dorsiflexion to prepare for ground contact, then you want to pick drills that accentuate and allow you to develop that ability to think about it. So drills are essentially the technical model performed at a slower action, which allows us to be more conscious of where we are in space so that we can focus on that, and then we can then bring that into our fast flat out sprints. And you want to see that carry over, otherwise the drill's not doing its job. And if the drill's not doing its job, the question is, why are we doing it? So the ones I kind of utilize here is that, again, I'll let this sort of play in the background. Now, first and foremost, before we get into this video, I'm going to apologize about the shakiness of this camera work. I've got one of those Pivo things that you put your phone into. It's like a tracking thing. Now, I think primarily they're designed for people dancing around in their kitchen for TikTok. I don't think they're really designed for people running twat laps of a car park. So, I apologize. I probably won't use it again. But just as a pre-warning, it does get a bit shaky. I've done my best to edit out the worst parts of it, but anyway. So basically we'll go through a very general warm-up. So just hit the high knees, butt kicks, side strides, just get the body moving from a global standpoint. Then I go into the A-skips. Now, key thing for the A-skips for me personally, I use these as more of a rhythm and relaxation standpoint. When you get into the weeds of drills, you can utilize a drill, the same drill, with different intention. So you can use an A-skip that is trying to be more relaxed on the knee drive to try and keep that sort of more fluid and flowing, which is how I use it. You can do this to really accentuate the knee drive, so there's a big pop on the knee drive. You can also do this to accentuate the ground contact. You can relax on the way up and strike on the way down. And what I mean by that is you can play around with all of these drills, even in the drill, if that makes sense. So I use the A-skip as more of a primer to before what I find the more beneficial drills for me. So I really try and get that sort of double bounce, so it's a bit like a pogo into a knee drive, into a pogo, into a knee drive, and you're just trying to maintain the rhythm and timing and coordination, always looking to get that foot striking under our center of mass. Okay, I've spoken about this before. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to sprinting, not striking out in front of our center of mass. So all of these drills are really trying to reinforce that. After the A-skip, I go into the stiff leg bound or the scissor run. And again, what we're looking for here is trying to, and on this one, I accentuate the pulling back of the limb, trying to strike that ground on the forefoot and really try and get that feeling of pulling yourself forward. So that when that ground contact comes, you should feel a propulsion and feel that push forward into space. That's what you want, okay? Because with every strike we should be getting quicker and quicker and quicker, and that means that we need to strike the ground in the right way, in the right fashion. So I like to perform them before I get into my dribble run. There are three main dribble positions. We have the ankle dribble, the shin dribble, and the calf dribble and the knee dribble, okay? And all of these are just building up. So as I go through this, I generally will do 2 by 20 meters of each one. And I'll kind of show you these as I go. So the ankle dribble is essentially creating a circle around your ankle. You want to see a cyclic movement of your leg. So as you bring that knee up, it's whipping round and underneath you to really propel you forward like you would get in the stiff leg runs. Then we go into the calf dribble. Again, each time the circle's getting bigger. I like the dribbles because they really make me feel how you should be sprinting efficiently or running efficiently. I also really like the dribble for just normal running, because I think that with the upright posture and using the hamstrings and the hips to propel you forward is way better than how most people run. One thing that I've personally found is I do believe that running slower, and I'm talking just sort of like my marathon pace running, has the ability to reinforce really bad technique. You know, because it's done slowly, because you're not moving quickly, the margin for error gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and we can get away with some really sloppy form. So I always like to reinforce this because I think it's something that can carry over to your runs. So going into the shin dribble, you'll see that it's just a little bit bigger. The circle is a little bit bigger, but they're exactly the same movement. Exactly the same way you want to be striking the ground. And then as you go into the knee dribble, again, this should look like max velocity running when done in slow-mo. So it should be the same sort of knee height, drive, rhythm, timing as you get there. And then all that's happening at max velocity is you're just obviously moving quicker and replicating that form, so your turnover's quicker. So I really like the dribble from that perspective. What you're looking for is to always keep everything underneath you, not allowing extension of your low back and tipping the pelvis forward. You want to really engage your abs, stiffen that torso, and then turn the legs underneath you, okay? So it's maintaining postures and positions while you're moving. And I think that's something that you want to reinforce, because it really helps you understand how the core or your trunk is your link between the force you're putting into the ground and the projection into your upper body, and obviously moving your body through space. So always trying to coordinate the upper and lower portions of your body to help you produce force. Then from there, I really try and ramp up or get some speed and power through the legs before I get into my sprints, okay? So one of the other ones that I really like to use are power skips. So I do these for height. So where I'm trying to get as much height on each one as possible. And again, this is really teaching you how to put force into the ground, but for max height essentially, right? Power skips. So I'll do 2 by 20 meters of that before going into 2 by 20 meters with power skips for distance. And now I'm really trying to not get as high, but really go as far forward as I possibly can. And essentially that is sprinting, right? It's the balance of vertical displacement and horizontal displacement at the right rate, okay? So it's coinciding that before I get into my heel sprints, I've gone through my positions and postures, really reinforced the good technical model. I've then put some power through the body, so expose the tissue to some high velocity work and maximum intent. Then I let that carry over, and hopefully we'll see that in my sprints. So today's session, what I did was I did 10 40-meter heel sprints with just adequate recovery. I wasn't timing it, just walk back, grab a drink, minute and a half, whatever it might be. Again, what you're looking for is perfect execution. The fitter you are, the better shape you're in, the less rest you'll need to do that. I then went upstairs and I went through a little circuit of push-ups, ring rows, and then jumping lunges, and I did 100 of each. So I essentially just chipped away at that over the course of 20 minutes, got them done, and that was kind of this workout for the day, and it was kind of all I needed. So that got some good postural reinforcement, power, some jumping in the terms of the power skips, some max effort heel sprints, and then just really built the chassis with some push-ups, some rows, and some jumps. So all in all, a good session. Hopefully I've done my best to explain how and why I use these drills, but again, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and maybe I'll just do a video on the dribbles or on any ones that you really want a bit more depth on. So hopefully that's of use, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.